Hello, Amanda. We're just waiting for Crystal at this point. I've been reaching out to her for about 20 minutes now and have not heard from her yet. So that's where we are. I'm gonna keep looking for her. And hope that she joins us. But in the meantime, if anybody has any questions about what happened in court today, you can raise your hand, or I'll see if I can navigate through this. I'm not perfect at this. I see Miss Red is here. She has a question. No? Does? No? Yes? I don't know. I'm going to reach out to Crystal one more time and let her know we're all in waiting for her. She is usually late, though. Okay, so nobody has any questions about what happened today in court? I could sing, but I don't think anybody wants to hear that. I hate to wait here in silence, and I hate trying to fill the silence. I'm going to sing. Thanks for laughing at me. I appreciate it. I'm going to add Miss Red. Good evening, Miss Red.
Hola, hola.
Hola, hola.
I want to know what happened. Tell me everything. I want to know.
Okay, so I just got word from Crystal. She will be coming along soon. What happened was Tabby had court the same friggin' time.
No way.
Yes. So we kind of like, when I first got there, I headed to the research room because I had a feeling that the AG had filed a motion to revoke her bail. And boy, what a motion that was. So I went to read that motion. I didn't grab it because you got to wait at the counter. It takes a little time to get the motions from them. So I kept watching for Tabby because one of our members is desperate for a picture of her. I don't know why. Anyways, I kept watching and watching and watching. No Tabby. So I don't even know if she showed up for court. I will check probably Friday and see if there's a warrant. But we went into the courtroom and waited for Miss Kayla to be brought in her shackles and chains. And we did not expect for her attorney, Paul Garrity, to just stand up and go, "We have no objection. Lock her up." That's pretty much what happened.
Do we have any idea the person where she was arrested? Who was the person?
We do. She was, well, so what happened was, and the arrest records just dropped this morning, and I didn't get them until I got home. So you have to be, it's pretty specific how you have to look them up. So anyways, I find them, and I find that there were 3 people arrested at that address that day. One, interestingly enough, was arrested around 8 o'clock in the morning, and then around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Kayla is arrested. So, I mean, you can take from that whatever you want. Crystal is here. You got to turn on your mic there, Chris. tap the little mic down. There she is. Yeah, we'll get this. I don't know if you are taking questions tonight, but if you are, there are plenty of people here that would like to ask questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
If anybody gets out of hand, I promise you they will be muted immediately.
Okay.
So, you have exclusive info for us, and we are excited to hear it.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so funny about how my advocate called me, and she's like, I have some tea for you about and she says the word tea because I just love that. She's like, I have some tea about Kayla's arrest, and I'm like, oh my god, give me all the details, right? So she's like, okay, so I guess Kayla had been staying at this guy. Okay, so David St. Ange's brother, his name is, what was his name?
Robert.
Yes, okay, I knew it was Robbie, Ryan, some shit. So, so he, I guess, is like some drug dealer in Manchester. And I know
It's not, you know what, Crystal?
What?
He's not just any drug dealer. He's a 50-year-old man.
Yes, this is what I was getting to, right? I know.
Oh, okay, go.
I know
I'm
his.
sorry.
It's okay. I know his he has family in Haverhill. All the St. Ange brothers, they're all scumbags. They got pedophiles in their family. The guy Dave that was actually stuttering on the news is a pedo. So so then she tells me, she's like, oh, so she had overdosed at that place 4 times in the week that she was there. So as they're arresting her outside, she's they have her sitting down, whatever, because she can't stand up straight. She's falling all over the place. She keeps dropping her cigarette. She burnt herself. She at one point she had admitted, oh yes, I'm on dope. She kept blabbing away, and I was just like, damn, why couldn't she blurt out like where Harmony was, She's saying everything but that. But the police said that she wasn't showing signs of remorse. She was showing signs of heavy guilt. Like she's like, I can't do this. I can't comply. She's like, I can't stay clean. So
Well, you look at her.
Oh,
When you look at her picture from the arrest, it's like eating her alive.
Yep. I can. She's dead. If you look in her eyes, there's nothing there. There is nothing there, And she said that to them. She's like, just bring me back. I can't stay clean. Like I can't do this. She's like, I ran because I just wanted a couple more days of freedom, or a couple more days to get high. Probably, maybe she was trying to kill herself when she was overdosing that 4 times that week. I don't know, but they kept Narcanning and whoever was with her, that guy Robbie. So she said, as they're arresting her, they're putting the handcuffs on her. The guy Robbie's daughter pulls up, and she's like, is that Kayla Montgomery? She's yelling out the window to the cops, and they're like, yes, man, telling her to pull off to the side if you want to talk. She pulls off to the side, and she's like, yeah, this is the first time she's been there. She's been there off and on. She goes up the back stairs, blah, blah, blah. And that's who told the police that she had overdosed so many times. And they were like, oh, do you have any other information? And they were like, she was like, yeah, I can't stand her. She's not trustworthy. She's shady, blah, blah, blah. She's like, and that girl said to the police, I believe she did something to Harmony. And she was like, I gotta go. And she pulls off and leaves. And I was like, so then she says to the cops, Kayla says to the cops, please don't let me back out.
She said, please don't let me back out.
She said that.
Wow.
And I'm like, why would she say that? Besides the fact that she don't deserve it. You know what I mean? But it's very strange. And then today when I was watching the news of her in court, she just looked like she was defeated. Like,
Yeah, when she first came in, there were three of us there. There were three of us there from the group. When she came in, she kind of slumped in the chair. Like, you can tell she's sick.
oh yeah,
She's very sick. But just kind of slumped in the chair, and it looked like it took all the energy she had to lean forward to be able to talk to her lawyer.
Oh yeah, she's kicking hard, and the thing is that she screwed up so badly, and she said that was another thing she kept saying. I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm sorry. She kept saying that in the cruiser. So I guess Jack Dunleavy is supposed to testify. I don't know at which hearing he's supposed to testify. I know one of them is the hearing that they're gonna have. I believe it's September 23rd. For Adam, it's supposed to be like an all-day hearing.
Yes, that I wanted to talk to you about. I didn't know if you wanted me to go through that hearing and some of the things they're going to discuss in that hearing. But first, I wanted to tell you that the morning that Kayla was arrested, there was a man arrested there. He was arrested on a bench warrant.
Oh, really? They also arrested the guy she was staying with for harboring a fugitive.
Well, yeah, they arrested him for harboring a fugitive, but the other guy, he was arrested at 8:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah? Who was he?
And then, boom, 2:00 in the afternoon, they are there tearing down the doors after Kayla.
He got her. He's like, let me go, and I'll tell you who's upstairs.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was thinking too. Yeah, all three of them were arrested there that day. So I did post on the channel the AG's full interview with reporters afterwards.
Oh, yeah,
so you might want to go take a listen to that. I also got to meet your advocate today, and she's a very nice lady.
She's amazing, man. She's just a sweetie, you know. She's this little thing that works with all these big men, and you know, she does her job good. You know? She's been here for me, like really here for me. Like I can call her at 2 a.m. You know.
So you know the St. Ange family. Yep. Did you know Robert or David St. Ange?
Well, I know that Adam knew Robbie because right before I got pregnant with Harmony, we were homeless in Manchester for a few months. We were living in a tent in the woods after, you know, his grandmother wouldn't let us stay because he was we were blatantly getting high, and she was like, he kept going to her house and doing it in her bathroom. And I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. So she wouldn't let us stay, so we ended up in a tent in the woods. And he was copping off Robbie at the time. So, but I don't remember what the dude looks like. I'm pretty sure he's like kind of tall. He has like his hair is like kind of sticks up straight, and he has pock marks. But that's what I remember.
I'll send you a picture of him. We have a couple pictures of him.
God.
His brother is quite interesting. The guy that was mumbling there in that interview on WMUR.
He was mumbling because he was lying. You're not going to tell me you live with your brother and you didn't know Kayla was there.
Yeah, well, we kind of all said the same. It's funny. I'm going to send you an article about where he got into this big fight and had some problems with somebody over milk and sugar.
I tell him. You know what I thought initially when I had seen the picture of the back stairs? I thought she was back at fucking Union Street. I was like, are you shitting me? She's on the backside of Union Street. And then when I seen like the side of the house, I was like, oh, that's not Union Street. But yeah.
So within 10 minutes, Luce had figured out exactly what address it was.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes. And then there's people from our group that figured out exactly who the people were that lived there.
Oh my God, it's fucking hilarious. I love how that neighbor guy was like taking all the pictures of her and shit.
So that's actually a girl. Her name's Melissa Oliver. she cracked me up because she was like, I can't wait. I hope they burn that house down. Blah, blah. You know, I reached out to her as soon as I saw her post some of those pictures.
Yeah, that's great. Tell her,
she's
if you
got
talked to her, tell her I said thank you. That was sweet to look at.
She has the whole video. I'm going to try and get her to upload it to one of the YouTube channels.
I'm pissed because I got some other tea, but I can't get the fucking video. There's a video of Kayla face planting in Manchester. She was so high, she fucking duffed it right on her face. And I can't fucking get that freaking video. I'm like, damn it, man. I'm hitting up everybody. Like, I know someone got that shit. Because it was shared on Facebook.
So, as I was saying when I first started the spaces, Tabitha Scott also had a hearing today.
She didn't show, right?
I don't know if she showed or not because we felt like it was more important to be at Kayla's hearing. So we didn't go to Tabitha, but I will go the end of the week and check and see if she's got a warrant.
Yeah, well, that's what happened last time. They gave her a bench warrant because she skipped out in court, and then they let her out and she did it again.
Right.
Manchester PD are fucking dumb, man. I'm telling you.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's bail reform. It has nothing to do with the police. We're just as frustrated. They're just as frustrated because you know, we had a murder here not too long ago from a guy that was out on bail from, you know, trying to commit murder on somebody else.
Oh my God.
It's bail reform. So at any rate, within a few minutes of leaving, and as you know, when we go to these things, we pass out bracelets. We leave those little harmony rocks everywhere. Within a few leaving, the ones that I had left on my way in were already gone. So we left a trail. We don't mind people taking.
What? Sorry. You're going out. I don't know why.
It could be my phone.
Okay. I just want to check my Wi-Fi.
So,
is it my Wi-Fi?
Are you ready to take questions?
I'm just trying to see if I have anything else to say. Just the fact that Amy said she's on prevention detection, which she's not getting released no matter what.
Right.
So,
right. They agreed to preventative detention. Garrity did say that they were going to apply and try and get a hearing depending on how things are going. Try and get another bail hearing before October 26th, which is her next hearing. And I just say good luck to that. I don't see it happening.
Oh, yeah, no.
But also, one more thing I wanted to tell you about. There is a motion that is not on the website yet, and it is about the cell phone that they caught Adam with.
Yes, they're trying to suppress it, right?
Yes, but apparently it was Kayla's cell phone.
I was told that it was Kayla's government cell phone. So that's how they were able to, it's mine. We're taking it as evidence. But I don't know, the whole depth of that.
So, in the motion, they talk to Adam, they frisk him, they get the cell phone. Mm-hmm. He says it's not his. He says it's Kelsey's. They go and they talk to Kelsey, and Kelsey says, no, it's not mine.
Wow.
So through their investigation, of course, Kayla's writing letters to people outside in the free world. She writes this letter to someone who is named in the motion, which is why I haven't shared it. But she writes to this person and said, the phone they took was my phone. Not her government phone, a phone Walmart. Because, and this is what it literally says in the motion, I bought that phone at Walmart because it was the cheapest one they had.
Oh my God, I just want to punch her. I have so many messages from her to other people, even one between her and, no, not her, Tabby and someone else. And it's just, oh my God, it just freaking freaks me out how, non-remorseful both of those women were about. The way Tabby talked about my daughter, she was nothing, she was nobody. Like, oh, I was the last person to see her alive. Like, it's just some normal conversation you have with people. But you're talking about a little girl. You're talking about a 6-year-old girl.
Right.
And she just, daddy punched you in the head. Come here, let's take a Facebook photo. Like, what? Like, if I get 5 minutes with that woman, I'm telling you. Woo! I'm telling you, man. She's basically, both women stood there and did nothing while this man punched my daughter's head in. Like that, I don't care. I don't care who you are, what you're about. You don't let that shit happen, man. You just don't.
Not to kids.
And then the amount of fucking people that watched him panhandling with her on his lap and saw her in a freaking store all bumped up, and because he said I did it, no one fucking questioned anything. Like I can't, man. I can't. I'm always gonna be the first one to say I fucked up. You know what I mean? I'm never going to say, oh, it was all the state, it was all this person, it was all that person. I'm a recovering addict. I fucked up. You know what I mean? But I worked my ass off to try to get her back. I tried to do whatever I can to make sure he wouldn't get her. Because I'm like, he's fucking psycho. Like, he used to harass me. When I had custody of Harmony, he used to harass me, call me 17 times in a day, trying to convince me to give him custody. And I was like, and I always had a freaking terrible feeling in my stomach whenever he even bring it up to me. And I'm like, no, it'll never happen. Oh, you can come over for holidays. You can sleep over. You and her will have your own room. Like a weird ass shit. I said, yeah, I'm having holidays over there with you and Kayla holding hands. Like, what? Yeah, and it got to the point where I knew something was affecting Harmony, and I hadn't even sent her the visits yet, but she was just very anxious all the time. Once he started calling on my cell phone, instead of just her seeing him at the, DCF or whatever. And because it was, at this point, there's no barrier between him and I. You know what I mean? So not only is he harassing me about getting her, but he's also screaming on the phone at me, trying to gaslight me. All the same shit he did when I was with him. And I was standing up to him, and I'm like, no. I was like, I don't know who you fucking think you are, but she's my kid. I have her. You know what I mean? And he told me on the phone one day, he goes, you're going to regret doing all this. He's like, you keep my daughter from me, I'm going to make sure she disappears. That's what he said. Wow. And every time I say it, I get a shiver down my spine because he kept his promise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Kayla and Adam had a hearing today about Harmony, or about their kids, right?
Yeah. And Caroline, the DCF worker that was Harmony's until recently when they closed the DCYF case. Hearing was today. That hearing was I was supposed to have a hearing today with Adam about Harmony, but but they closed they're in the process of closing the case. Because we would have had to be there in person, alone. Like I wouldn't be able to bring family with me, nothing, and I can't sit in a room alone with this man. You know what I mean? I would have ended up in a freaking jumper. Like. There's an old ass guy as a court officer. There's a judge. There's the old DCF lawyer and some lady that sits next to me. Like I would have jumped over that shit like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I didn't even let that happen.
So they're closing the case.
Yeah, for DCF. She was. They based the whole thing was trying to give. And I hate even saying this shit because it sounds so fucking stupid. They did this shit, right? After Harmony was missing, they bring us all into DCYF court to try and reunify me and Harmony. Without a baby, without a child, without knowing where she was, alive or not.
So that was the plan?
Yeah, to cover their ass. Yup,
Wow.
and now it went from So my lawyer for the lawsuit piece of it, like we're not going to come out with any types of statements until long after like trial is over. You know what I mean? Because that's not our focus.
Right.
Our focus is finding harmony and holding people accountable. Yes, but he said the entire lawsuit has changed because it was what we were originally suing was she went missing under their care. Well, now she was murdered under their care. So the
Right.
lawsuits totally changed. All of the lawsuits have changed. And he's like, Crystal, this is gonna get really serious. Like, he's like, it might get dangerous. He's like, I don't know. So I'm just ready to fight,
Yeah, I was reading the policy because Governor Sununu, he supposedly revamped DCYF, and so he put out this.
Why did a 12-year-old just die at one of their in DCF in Fitchburg, right near me? A 12-year-old died at one of their DCF houses.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, I
right.
didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah.
No, that's fine. So, I was reading that, and it apparently it was the obligation of the first caseworker that went to their home in January of 2020 to report her missing, because she didn't have eyes on the child, and that was their new policy, eyes on the child.
Yeah, and so, I have that woman's name as well.
Yeah, don't say it.
No, I won't. I don't even remember it on the top of my head, to be honest. But I did have a woman reach out to me today. I believe it was on Twitter, saying to me that Demetrius Zaros also failed her child. And I'm like, no way. She's like, we're not the only ones he's done this to. And I'm like, so he needs to go to jail? Like, what do you mean it's not the first time he's ever done this? Okay, so let's put him in jail. Because what? How many kids are dead because of him? How many kids are missing because of him? Like, that's what I want to know now. Now I want to know. Like, I thought my daughter might be the only one, but no, I'm wrong.
Yeah, so NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, has not removed her booster yet. Do you know why?
Why they removed it from the missing?
No, they haven't removed it.
Oh, well, because her remains are still missing, and they still need her photo out there just so people don't forget. That's basically what Amy told me. She said her picture's still going to be up there. There might be one billboard still up. Because we're still looking for her body, but obviously it's, she's not going to look beautiful like in the pictures, but maybe somebody will remember. Oh man, I remember seeing her, or I don't know. I still have a little tiny bit of hope. Because I mean, they tell me she's deceased. They can tell me till they're blue in the face, but until I see proof, until I know for a fact that she's gone, I don't know. I'm still in denial, I guess.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a big range of emotions you're gonna go through.
Yeah, well, the one that's like the strongest right now is anger. Like I'm angry. Like I'm really angry, and the fact that I'm still being tortured by DCF because of Lindsay Fanuth, Lynn Ann, that made Harmony's Army. She filed false 51As on me when Harmony's case came out, and 9 months later, I'm still fighting for dear life to get this case closed because they have no reason to hold it open. They keep telling me they're holding it open because of Harmony's case.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's not. I don't even think it's legal. They came in and listen to this. They came in and took. Okay, so they had no proof, no reason, no dirty urine, no police reports, no nothing. They came in and took custodial custody of my son. Conditional custody, meaning if I don't follow a list of conditions, they come and snatch at his ass for no reason, literally. And I've been
Isn't that the same situation Harmony was in with
Yes. This is what I mean. They're doing it over again to try and say it wasn't them, it was me. I'm telling you, I know exactly what they're doing. And my lawyer in New Hampshire is trying to get me a lawyer in Mass to start up the lawsuit in Mass, because we're thinking if we get the Mass lawsuit going, they'll back off. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh shit, she's not playing. Let us back off. I haven't even thought about going to the media, Regina. This is how bad it is. They're making me meet with them weekly. I do 2, 3, 4 appointments every single day. Like, the shit that they're having me do is insane, like insane. And this stuff that they're having me do should be for parents that are fucking up, that are doing things that they already fucked up. They already lost you know what I mean? I've never lost him. I've never ever even put him in the place of losing him. You know what I mean?
So I'm kind of curious about that. Isn't that's all stuff they did not make Adam do, though?
Yep, they didn't make him do anything. Not anything. And they're still in Mass, they're still torturing me. And they told me right to my face, we can and will use your past against you. And I quote, she said that shit right to me, the supervisor.
So is it your New Hampshire lawyer that's keeping you from bringing this out to the media?
Yeah. He's like, Crystal, he's like, if you come out to the media with what you're saying about DCF and Mass, he's like, that could fuck you. He's like, that could fuck you before we get the case for the lawsuit in Mass, because he's like, they could literally come in and say, oh, you want to fuck with us, then we're going to fuck with you, and like make false allegations and remove them or something. Like, my lawyer's like, listen, I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. He's like, so we got to be smart about everything. And I'm like, oh, this is mad stressful on top of Harmony's case. Like, I am trying my ass off to get these people out of my life. They have literally no reasons. Every week they come, I do every single thing I'm supposed to. I have take homes. I'm on, little antidepressants to help me with the grief and depression and everything. I have a recovery coach and a clinician and a psychiatrist and a therapist. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I have too many supports, if anything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the support you needed when you had Harmony, you didn't have.
The help I needed when I begged for it in Boston, because I slipped up and I just needed help and nobody cared. They just took my kids. Like, they didn't care. Yeah. They took my kids, threw me in the street and said, here, figure it out. Now you're homeless.
Yeah, I think you're going to be surprised by some of what Jesse says on that in that interview. I know you can't be too aggressive.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning towards they are really pressuring.
I really hope so, because I truly believe Adam's never gonna talk. He's a psycho about ratting, because I think he's a psycho about ratting because low key he's a rat. But for other things, like, that's why he's gotten away with so many fucking crimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we've always wondered about that. There's lots of us that have said, geez, I wonder.
Oh, yeah, I believe that in my heart. But I had, the guy that's always in these news reports, Jonathan Blodgett, the Mass? Well, he's the DA in Massachusetts, right? So I get a phone call from his office the other day, and I'm like, what the fuck? Jonathan Blodgett's office? I'm like, what? So I go on my voicemail and I see it's a voicemail, and it's from the captain of the state trooper, Tom Sullivan. He's like a captain or something. And he calls me up and he's like, hi, Mrs. Sorey. He's like, I'm so sorry to hear what Adam did to your daughter, blah, 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 right? He doesn't say, I'm sorry to hear what happened to your daughter. He says, I'm sorry about what Adam did to your daughter. And then he says, but I would really like to talk to you about that wind murder. She's like, because if we can put him under the jail, she's like, I'd really like you to help me do that. And I started bawling, like listening to that voicemail, because I'm like, this could be it. This could be, besides us finding her, and them having enough evidence to charge her with Harmony's murder, like, I could help by giving them whatever small details I had.
Right.
About what he had told my sister, way back when.
And that kind of makes me sad, because I know that's part of their goal. He's the bad guy. Let's lock him up. Let's keep him locked up for a long time. The problem is it doesn't give closure.
Oh yeah, exactly. He said that too. He's like, I know, adding this murder isn't gonna bring Harmony home or find her. He's like, but I'm hoping that if we hit him with both, he'll have no choice but to tell us where she is. And I'm like, and you know what bothers me? It bothers me, and I always think, like, is that where he put her? Because he used to joke around all the time and say, like, yeah, if we could get rid of shit, man, we just throw it in the Hudson River. He's like, yeah, you trying to get rid of evidence? It's like you throw it in the Hudson River. He used to say that shit all the time. I swear. And so I told the police this multiple times. I'm like, y'all should check the Hudson River. That man said that shit too many times to be joking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The police didn't listen to a lot of things that I said.
I mean, so when you look back at the police not listening to a lot of what you said,
I was right the whole time, man.
That goes back a long way. So, are you willing to take any questions?
Oh yes, yeah, that's fine.
Is there anybody that has any questions? And I gotta look for blue dots. That's where they come from. I don't see any questions from it. So I want to ask you about the Giglio motion filed by the defense.
The what? I'm sorry.
The Giglio motion. Do you know anything about that motion?
She said she did mention a motion, but Amy said she had to get like a little bit more information because she didn't want to inform me wrong or something like that. I'm not sure. But what are you talking about?
So a Giglio motion is, and this is in reference to the gun charges. Okay. A Giglio motion is basically a motion of tell us who your witnesses are and what incentive you gave them. Because most of the witnesses that are mentioned in the Giglio motion are incarcerated or already in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I have that motion in front
of me that they didn't offer them anything. These certain people were people that already had problems with Adam. Adam had robbed them, or they had fought Adam, or something. That's what I was told, that these people had already hated Adam in some type of way. He had did them dirty already. And I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot from people in New Hampshire and Manchester.
So, Steve Fisher has a question for you. Steve?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, I came in.
Yeah.
I came in kind of late, so I apologize if this got addressed earlier. But hey, Crystal, did they give you a reason why, why they determined this was a murder investigation? Now, I mean, was there forensic evidence found, or did somebody, did they get a statement from somebody, or do you know what?
Forensic. It was forensic evidence.
Are you allowed to talk about it at all, or are they telling you not to talk about it?
I mean, they told me not to talk about it, a few months ago, but, they've already said what they said. So they found enough blood to prove in 2 different places to prove that she is no longer with us.
Do you know, I mean, can you say where that was found? Was that found at which?
Union Street in that closet and one of the trunks of the car.
Oh, how do you think she found out or ended up at Union? Because of the timeline.
So this is what I think. I think they screwed up on the timeline, to be honest, because it was just so long and there was so much that happened. But I believe that they stayed at what I got, they stayed at Kayla's mom's house for a couple of days, and she kicked Adam out. She didn't want Adam there. She hates Adam, so Adam took Harmony with him. For a couple of days, they were living in the car. So Kayla said, "Okay, Mom, take my kids. I'll stay in the car with Adam and Harmony." Well, whatever they did before they moved in, I believe they did it right before they moved into Union Street, whether it was that one day that they were still living in the car before they went. Then they kill her, put her in the closet, because they're like, where the fuck are we going to bring her? And then they put her in the trunk to bring her wherever they brought her. This is what I've put together with all the information I have. You know what I mean? There's certain things they still says, we can't tell you yet. In time, we will. They told me recently that right before trial, I will be told all the witnesses and what to expect. So,
wow.
That's a good question, Crystal. Did they tell you where they found the blood, or did they say it was in both places?
Yeah, they said it was in both places.
So the car and the closet.
The car, it was under, in the back trunk, when you lift up the carpeting, it was, it seeps through. Usually people that are trying to clean up something clean the top. They think, oh, no, he's going to lift up the bottom. Mm-hmm. Well, they did. And not only.
Which of the car, because there was a couple cars, do you know which of the cars it was? Okay. And just one last question. I mean, and this would just be your, because you know him and everything. I mean, do you think that like he intentionally killed her, or do you think this was like something he got like out of hand, and you know what I mean? Or do you think it was like he meant to kill her, or do you think it wouldn't matter? I
think, because he was abusing her for so long anyways, that and they were starving her. Like, she wasn't eating. Like, they weren't feeding her until like 5 p.m. And that's if she was good. If she was good, she got to eat. You know what I mean? Which she didn't do nothing right to them. So what I think is, I was told he was on a nut psychosis from October to March, when he beat up Kayla and ended up in the program and arrested and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I believe he was in the nut psychosis. She did something very mild, and he snapped and killed her. And I get scared, because I'm like, damn, what if he was so high he don't remember where he put her?
That could be. I mean, that literally could be.
God, that'd be the worst thing.
That could be. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions, and I'm very sorry about your daughter. Okay, thank you.
Steve, I appreciate the question. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm not seeing any questions here.
Yeah, come on, babe. Come on.
I know Darkness was here. Darkness, do you have any questions from your end? Anybody with any questions, just raise your hand, because I'm not good at
I'm not good at any of this stuff yet.
So you have a birthday tomorrow?
Yes, I do. I made it to 32.
You made it to 32. Okay, so we do have a question.
Yeah.
I can't read her whole name, but I'll do as soon as I add her as a speaker. It is Call Bear. Call Bear, you're going to tap your mic and please be respectful.
Yay! That's your friend, Elmo. That's your friend. He loves Elmo. He gets so excited.
And I don't know if Crystal would know the answer, but if they have all that evidence, why haven't they charged him yet?
I had a meeting the day that they announced it to the public, that she, that they were switching it from a missing person to a murder. They told me they have almost enough evidence to charge him, and that they said they were fairly close to finding her and charging him. So, and this is another, they just keep telling me with time, we'll be able to tell you this with time, blah, blah, blah. And they also asked me recently, Friday, they said they would like me to come back up to Manchester and give another DNA swab because they had already used my other DNA swab against the evidence, so they can't use it again, I guess. So I have to go up there and give more, which I'm wondering, did they find more? You know what I mean? Like, why would they need more of my DNA if they already tested the DNA they have? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Yeah, it's...
Well, if it's his car and the evidence is in his car, I just am really confused why.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm so frustrated that they haven't even said, hey, he's definitely the one that did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
right. I am frustrated too. I'm so sorry, honey.
Thank you. I'm just trying to
So
do everything I can to hold these people accountable, no matter who they are. Because you know what? If I have to live with this for the rest of my life, and I have to pay for the rest of my life, so do the other people. Like, so do they. Because they did worse than I did, I didn't have a chance. I was just a single mom, didn't have good parents, didn't have nobody, and like, I needed help and they didn't care. And, those people should be held accountable.
I think that they don't want to build a circumstantial case. They want to build a very solid
that's
case.
What they told me. They said they don't want anything. They said they want to do this right, where there's nothing that's able to be screwed up, misconstrued. They want him to be charged with her murder. They don't want a manslaughter. They don't want any of that. They wanted actually premeditated, but they can't really say if he planned it or not yet.
Unless they get more evidence. And that's part of the problem. You don't want a circumstantial case. Circumstantial cases, they have a tendency to be turned over on appeal, and I guarantee you that is not something that this AG wants. So we have another question. I am going to. It looks like it.
Honey,
IT Beaver, you're just gonna have to hit your mic and you have to turn on your Leah. Sorry.
Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna try to make it quick. I want to say I am incredibly sorry for your loss, and I spent about 15 years in recovery, so I think it is important that people. I think it's good that you came out and said, "Hey, I have to live with this. I'm dealing with it, and I'm pushing forward for my child."
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do, truthfully.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm very glad that you're owning this, because it is important. And what happened to your child should never happen to any kid. Because not when I say this statement, I'm not necessarily including you. I'm talking about the people in charge. Everybody felt harmony.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
So, the ombudsman, when she came out and she from the audit from the ombudsman, I thought it was incredibly telling. For one, the press conference was an hour and 30 minutes. I've never in my life seen such a detailed CPS audit in my life.
Right,
and
they
I think
both of our lives right out on punishment.
Yeah,
like everybody knows.
That's a lot.
Now.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine where you're at. And honestly, just for me, the fact that you are up here and you are speaking with common words and you're lucid, it lets me know that you did not do what most addicts do, and that's go exactly back. What Crystal's doing right now. I mean, not Crystal, but what is her name?
Kayla.
Kayla.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart. But
yeah, it's okay.
And I think she's using behind guilt. Honestly.
Oh yes.
100%.
She doesn't have remorse. It's haunting her, and she has.
She can't feel the remorse. Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. And I feel like she's sick. She walked off the clinic. They're not going to put her on methadone if she's walked off of it. You know what I mean? You don't get methadone unless you're on it when you go in. Or you're
Right,
pregnant.
and you got to follow rules. Yeah.
Yep. And
I did. Go ahead.
I'm hoping this is like this would be our chance right now that she's sick. If she, you get super vulnerable, super emotional
Yes.
when you're kicking, So
Yes.
I'm hoping she's gonna call them up and say, "Hey, I'll tell you anything you want to know if you help me not feel this way anymore." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
And that,
whatever.
I don't believe in cutting deals necessarily. I feel like they should both be charged equally, but we just y'all need to get her, you know what I'm saying? She's got to be found. End result's the same. She still has to be found regardless.
Yes.
So
exactly.
I did
and
have.
said they're not offering them anything. They're not offering them
Well, good.
immunity, any type of deal like that. You know what I mean?
Well, good, because they don't deserve it. They're awful people. Completely awful. I did want to get your personal thoughts on this, and then I will hop down, and thank you so much for allowing me to come up. I don't even know how I did it. This is my first time doing it. But when the uncle reported the abuse, it has always baffled me, but I'm from Tennessee. I'm kind of a little rough. But what I wanted to say is, how did Adam walk away? Outside of the uncle reporting it, why? Do you know why the uncle didn't do anything else? Like, Adam would not have walked out of my living room if he would have said something like that.
Because of that Lynn murder.
Because what's that?
The Lynn murder that Adam did in 2005.
The drug dealer.
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin, the father, Adam's father, the Uncle Jimmy, which is Kevin's brother, he's deceased, and Adam were all in the car when Adam killed that man. So all Adam has to do when it finally hits Adam, all Adam has to do is fold and say,
"No way,
it wasn't me. It was my dad and Kevin." And Kevin and Adam and Kevin and Mike know that he has that power. So they do everything Adam tells them to do. And the fact that the grandmother and Kevin, they left Harmony there and moved to Florida after witnessing abuse.
So literally everybody felt her. Literally every single body.
Yep.
I am enraged. I'm enraged to hear this.
Oh, me too. Then they fucking leave her there, and then they call me 6 months later to tell me how bad the abuse had gotten.
My God,
you know
man.
What I mean? And I was already calling. I don't give a fuck. I was calling, making up all kinds of shit because at that point they weren't listening.
You needed to know. Yep.
Yeah, they weren't listening anyways. The guy, the fucking Demetrius, told me one day. He said, "Yeah, you sound like a scorned ex that's pissed off that he got custody on you."
Wow.
Yep. And he said something similar to Harmony's foster mother, Michelle. Michelle was calling saying, she hadn't seen her eye doctor. We were worried, blah, blah, blah. And he said, "Well, aren't you pissed off because you didn't get custody of her?"
How stupid and smug and petty and all the things. Are you missing the point? Like,
yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm going to hop off here, but it is disgusting. And I don't want to completely derail the spaces with my foul language, but I wanted to tell you, you're in my prayers. The rest of the family that cares is in my prayers. The foster family, everybody that has stood up and keep speaking out. Because even though there's pain in your story, there's growth in it for somebody else that don't know any better. And there's also growth for the next addicted mother that comes along and doesn't know how to get clean for their kids.
Yeah, like I just want to show mom, we can do it. We're just gonna work hard.
Well, I appreciate you and God bless, and we are praying and we're gonna keep speaking out for Harmony. Thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you.
We have a question from Miss Red.
Hi, today. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm ready. Hold on, let me get you a snack, okay? Snack before bedtime.
Hang on a second, because I just messed up. A request from Catherine. And we're just waiting for her mic to come on.
Why is it freaking hot out there? Hold on.
Catherine, you got to tap your mic in the bottom corner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said misread.
No, you know what happened? We kicked Miss Red out.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask. You said that they have witnesses for his trial.
Yes.
Wow.
But I don't know who they are. But they did say, "Oh, we're gonna, we will tell you right before trial." So from what I understand, there's 2 for the gun charges, and there's 1 for like the stuff for Harmony, like the the abuse and the black eye and stuff. And I think that the witness for that abuse is Adam's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep, because him and Adam have never had a relationship ever. And when I tell you this man adored Harmony, adored his niece, he's like beside himself, He's the only one that I still talk to here and there, because, he really did love his niece. And he moved to Florida, at the beginning. He didn't leave Harmony behind. He didn't, he wasn't a part of that. So he's the only one I talked to. And he was honest. He told them right away. He said, listen, he was always mean to Harmony, always like short-tempered with her. And then, he also told how he had hit her and the other things he did.
Wow, so they must have a pretty good case if they have witnesses too.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we can get him, the most time possible.
Yeah, life.
Yeah. Because Mass don't have the death
penalty?
penalty. Yeah, no, not Massachusetts or New Hampshire.
Oh my God.
Damn it. Yeah, and I said, so that mass murder is in Mass. So I said, what would happen? And they said after he served all the time for Harmony, then if he was still alive, then they they'd send him to Mass prison. He'd be like 93.
So he's pretty much done for.
Yeah, he's done for. He knows it too. He knows it. So I think that's another reason why he's either not ever gonna say where she is, or he's not gonna say it until he absolutely needs to. That's what I'm thinking. Kayla, on the other hand, she might just get sick enough to say, listen, give me whatever you can and I'll tell you what you got.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I was just going to ask one more question, and that was how did you feel about finding out that Kayla had supposedly overdosed already a couple of times, and she could be the only one that has any that will speak?
So when they told me this, I said to her, to the DA lady, I said, God brought her back 4 times because she has the answers. He's not going to let her die.
Yeah.
He's not going to let her die until we know what she knows. Yeah. Because any other reckless addict, they would have died, right? Mm-hmm. Why her? Why did she come back 4 times?
No, that's an amazing outlook that you have.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it, because if I don't have faith right now, I don't have anything.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'll let someone else ask a question.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? I don't know if Miss I kicked her out accidentally.
Can I ask one more?
Absolutely. Ask away, Steve.
Hey, Crystal, listen, I know that there's no love lost between you and Kayla whatsoever, and especially what you just said. Do you think there's any chance at all, like, she may know that what happened to Harmony, but might not know the details of where Harmony's at? Like, could he keep a secret like that? Like, is he good?
No. I know Adam, when he has a girlfriend or quote unquote wife, the girlfriend, he did the same thing to me. I was in charge of anything he needs me for, anything. So how she got charged with, the receiving stolen property, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that in that crime she was by his side. In a couple of the other like little minor things that they did, she was by his side. So no one's gonna tell me that she don't know what he did to her and know where he put her. I believe that in my heart. I know she was there when whatever happened. She couldn't stop him or didn't care. And she was definitely there when they put her wherever they put her. And my intuition hasn't been wrong yet.
Just one last question, because you mentioned, and I knew a little bit about that 2005 one, but you said his dad was there. Do you think his dad knows where Harmony?
I do. I've said this from the beginning. He's too radio silent. Being the closest one to Adam, him and Adam have been so close the entire time I've ever known them. Even if they were screaming, yelling at each other, 2 minutes later they're dapping each other up, father and son again. You know what I mean? So the fact that the Montgomery's tried to convince me that his father was the first person that he had cut off is bullshit. Because then all of a sudden the statements are contradicted by that freaking that recording in court of Kayla sending messages to Adam through the father. Oh, you can come down.
Yeah, that was messed up.
To Florida, and he not one time asked about Harmony. That was his very first grandchild. Like he came in the hospital while his first ever breastfeeding her. Like boobs out, everything. You know what I mean? First person to hold her besides me, and you don't ask about her. You don't nothing. You don't report anything. You don't call the police anonymously. He never even talked to the press as the grandfather. Like, why are you hiding? Because
maybe if they could really try and jam him up on that 2005 deal, that maybe they could get him.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm trying to work with these people. Because if I can get any information on it, one of his family members, I'm gonna do whatever I can. So.
Cool. Thanks for taking the time again. Thank you.
So Deb Mom has a question, and all you have to do, Deb Mom, is tap your speaker and you can ask.
Thank you. Hi, Crystal. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. Harmony, rests on a lot of our hearts. But I was curious, is there any reason why everybody's afraid of Adam?
Besides the fact that he's a psychopath? I'm going to tell you guys a story of back when I was with him, just to give you a kind of an idea of where Adam's head is always at. So we were homeless in Manchester at this time. I think I actually might have been pregnant and I just didn't know it yet, because the morning sickness hadn't hit me yet. But I was feeling very different. I remember that. And it was starting to get cold. And we were walking, and we only had one cell phone at the time, and he calls up this kid he knew from like when they were kids, and he's like, "Hey, let's meet up, let's smoke, blah blah blah," right? And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, blah blah blah." Well, I guess there was something where this kid had called him a rat. Said he like there was paperwork on Adam. That Adam was like a rat in New Hampshire, which now I'm starting to think what he was saying was true. Because why would Adam get so mad? Okay, so the kid comes, we're standing there smoking with the kid, and then all of a sudden, Adam passes it to me, pulls his arm back, and knocks this dude's whole jaw off his face. Like, I saw his jaw, it was normal up on his head, and then it had fallen way down, all the way down to his chest. And he just ran away, like whimpering, screeching, crying. And I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck was that? And because he didn't warn me, he did nothing. I just knew about that initial beef with the whole rat thing. And he was like, well, what the fuck did you think I was going to do? And, before the guy runs off, he obviously is like, give me everything in your pockets, and the kid runs off whimpering and crying. And he didn't care. He was reckless. He didn't give a fuck if he killed you. He didn't And this is what makes me also think he's a rat. Why was he so comfortable in New Hampshire, hurting people and robbing people and doing all of this and that? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, people were afraid of him because when that phrase "zero fucks given," that's his whole life story. 0 fucks given. He doesn't care. He will murder you with his bare hands and fucking tell somebody later about it. Like, he's a sicko. He has no emotions, no remorse. He'll make you believe he has all these emotions. He's really good at convincing you that he loves you. He's really good at talking his way out of things. He's just a fucking evil person.
So he's like a narcissist.
Yeah, severe narcissistic sociopath.
Okay. Is there any way that any of this could help keep him in prison for good?
Yeah. With the 2 career criminal charges alone, each of those charges carry 17 to 40 years apiece. Plus, when they charge him with Harmony's murder, plus the Lynn murder, he's never going to see the light of day. And I'm working my butt off to make sure of that, because no other family should ever have to deal with any of this. And Harmony didn't deserve anything that man did to her. Why fight for her? Why show up and get custody of her just to fucking kill her 10 months later? Why didn't he just do what he fucking told the police he did? Why didn't he call me? Why didn't he bring her to me like he claimed? Because he was trying to frame me for her murder. He was trying to frame me. And I didn't realize that in the beginning because I didn't think she was gone. But then once they told me he murdered her, I'm like, he was trying to frame me. But I was able to prove, obviously that I hadn't seen her, I hadn't had her. I had been actively looking for her, but nobody fucking listened to me. Everybody's like, why wasn't it reported for 2 years? It was reported. They just didn't come out to the public. They just didn't do anything about it. So that's why they said, oh, hey, it wasn't reported for 2 years. Yes, it was reported. Nothing was done for 2 years, is what they were supposed to say. But yeah,
Well, I'm sorry about everything that you're going through, and my heart is with you, and my heart is with Harmony.
Thank you.
And I just have one more question, and then I'm gonna hop off. Do you know how Jameson is doing?
Oh yeah, I talk to them every day, and they send pictures and videos back and forth. He's struggling, he has therapy, and his brothers are helping him, and I video chat and send him little videos every day telling him I love him. And I talked to this medium, and she was telling me about how Harmony basically sends her these little messages about she loves her brother so much and little things like that. And when that night where she had said that, Harmony said that, I had messaged them and let them know, hey, this is what I was told about Harmony. She's thinking of Jameson, blah, blah, blah. And they said, that is so crazy because he insisted on sleeping with his Harmony doll tonight. And I believe they're connected. Just like, I'm connected. Josiah is connected to her. Like, I see this little boy running around in the hallway, laughing hysterically with somebody. And looking at somebody, right? Like, they're looking at them like they're an angel. And he's laughing with this joyous belly laugh. And he's just playing chase in the hallway. And I know it's her. The other day, I had a reading done. And I put my glasses on the nightstand. As I was closing my eyes, they were still there. When I woke up in the morning, they weren't. And so I woke up, I sat up, I did my daily prayers, and I said, Harmony, I know Adam didn't let you wear your glasses, but Mommy needs her. She can't see without them. And so I'm looking for them everywhere. I can't find them. So I says to the medium, I said, hey, can you kind of put a message out and ask either the spirit guides or Harmony where my glasses are? And she said, yep, hold on a second. And she gets back to me and she says, check the side of your bed. And I was like, it's weird because I already did. So I checked the other side of my bed, and where were the glasses? On the floor on the other side of my bed. And when I tell you I got chills down my spine when I picked up the glasses and realized like she actually moved them. Like I believe in those things. I truly believe it. I believe that she comes to me when I need her the most.
Well, I believe in that too, and I just want you to know that I'm really, really proud that you're going to fight for Adam to stay in prison, and I really hope that you get some closure to finding Harmony, and hopefully she can rest in peace.
Me too. I just want to be able to one day when Jameson says, "Mommy, what did you do about Harmony?" And I can tell him all the things I did. You know, so he said, oh God, when they told him that Harmony was gone, he said, who did this? Who did this to my sissy? Who hurt her? He said, and why did nobody protect my sister? And oh man, that hurt so bad. So bad to hear him say that. Why did nobody protect my sissy? You know, that was.
And I have to say that he's right, because there was so much failure that it's awful, and we're fighting to change that.
You know, I want to be able to tell him we fought as hard as we could to get her justice and make sure this doesn't happen again. You know, and so he'll never get out.
Just let him know that there's thousands of people that are fighting.
Oh yeah.
And we will definitely, try to definitely fight and get changed laws and stuff like that.
Oh yes, we will.
But thank you so much for taking the minute to talk to me, and I'll let you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
We have another request for you.
Okay, one more because I gotta get going.
Okay.
Gotta put this boy to sleep. That's cool in the morning. He don't go to sleep till 9. I try to do it before 9, but it doesn't happen. He just plays, so.
I get up at 3 a.m., so I have to go.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that this early. Jeez.
Okay, just laughing. Let's have your question.
Hi, I was just wondering if Crystal had like a theory of what happened and how it happened with Adam.
The only theory I have, and I've said this from the beginning since I found out, he was in that meth psychosis. I strongly believe he had gotten so used to, and I'm going to quote a statement that he had made to his brother, Michael. Michael said to me that Adam said to him one day, I'm going to break her down and build her back up because she is just like Crystal and I fucking hate it. And then, he started to do those severe punishments to her, and I feel like he got so comfortable with spanking her and hitting her and, having the short temper that by the time he was in the meth psychosis, he was just like, hurting her worse than he was when he was sober or whatever. And not sober, but not on meth. And I believe he lost control one night because when you're on meth, you don't sleep, you're seeing things, you're hallucinating, you're hearing things, like all kinds of shit. I believe he lost his temper one night on her, hit her so hard, or kept hitting her so hard that he killed her, and then he panicked, wasn't going to call the cops, and put her somewhere. And sometimes I wonder if he even remembers where he put her. But because of the fact that with the evidence there being so much blood, I don't think he beat her to death. There's no way, unless, oh yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I just think like he either, because the whole theory about like being cut up and put in a freaking drain and all that shit, no, that didn't fucking happen. So, what I do know is that he lost his goddamn mind, and I believe he beat her to death, and she bled out. That's what I believe. and it's taken me a lot of thought and prayer and, you know, things like that to even say that without bawling. Like, because I've thought of every single scenario you could possibly imagine, and every night before I go to bed, and I always pray to take these thoughts away, but every night before I go to bed, I think about her final moments. You know, if she cried for me, if she begged him not to, if she was in pain, if she went quickly, or if she suffered, if she called for me. I think about those things every night. And, no child deserves that, but, I wish people could have met Harmony, man. She was so amazing and funny and happy, and she'd sing and she'd tell you all these little stories, and sometimes she was sassy, and she'd tell you like it is if she didn't like something you said. Like, she definitely got that from me. And she was just a light to be around. If you felt shitty and she'd walk over to you, you just felt at peace. So I just really don't understand how he could have even looked in her eyes and done anything that he did. I just don't understand. None of us probably ever will. But yeah, that's my theory.
Crystal, how do you think Kayla might have been involved?
I believe they had kids together. I believe she was there. I believe they were getting high together. He fucking tweaked out, maybe did it in another room. She came in, seeing what he did. Or she was in the room and watched him do it. She didn't give a fuck. She watched him punch her head in all the time and didn't do shit. And in the DCYF paperwork I have, it states that, she was participating, at least verbally from what the neighbors heard, her calling Harmony all kinds of names and shit, dragging her out the house, Harmony screaming. Like,
so, if you know, what was their drug of choice?
Heroin is their drug of choice, but meth is running rampant in Manchester. And Adam was a real. Adam likes to shoot cocaine. Like, that's his drug of choice. He'll do heroin to come down from it. But once the man got meth, it was a wrap. Obviously, and that's crack times 1,000. So yeah, so he probably switched over to meth, really liked it, and was ended up on it for 6 months or whatever. I just wish he did what he said he did. I just wish he fucking called one of us, man, and said, "Crystal, I'm fucked up. I can't do this." I would have been up there in a fucking heartbeat. It just, all the could have been, would have been, should have been. It's hard,
Crystal, I do not want you to leave this spaces upset. So I want to tell you that I'm looking forward to seeing you either this week or next week.
Yeah, you'll see me next week.
And you have a birthday, and you just finished celebrating your sobriety, and you've accomplished a lot.
I have.
You have, and you have every reason to expect the love and consideration and respect that you deserve.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm okay. Sometimes I gotta get the tears out,
Everybody does. We all do. Tomorrow morning, and I know it'll be early, so shut your ringer off. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to send you all those documents I have that I think you're going to get a kick out of.
Okay.
And I will let you know Friday if I find out if Tabitha has a warrant for her.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that'll be good to know. It's real weird. I really think Tabby's one of the witnesses. Because every time I mention that woman's name to anybody on Harmony's case, they're real hush-hush. Won't give me an answer, real tight-lipped. Like, it's weird. It's Weird.
So I'll tell you something funny. When we were sitting in court, of course, the camera's right behind us and the mic is on. And we're talking about Tabby because we're kind of disappointed we can't go next door and hear her hearing. And your advocate turned around and said,
See?
that everything you're saying. And we were,
Oh my God, man, I'm telling you, we're on the right track.
so I will send you all that stuff. Everybody, I want to thank you for joining us for the Spaces. I want to thank you, especially Crystal, for joining us. And I hope you have a wonderful evening and a very, very, very happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I will. Bye, everybody. Thank you.